Monday, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig, who is doing everything in his power to get on my nerves today. We'll get to that.
Is there something odd here?
We'll get to that in a moment.
Okay,
we gave Petey the day off. Danielle's here behind the Mac. Yes, for those listening, there is a foreign object on the table.
There's a few, but...
And we need to talk about this right off the bat. I know you're all here to talk about the Coyotes prospects in the playoffs, but this is the elephant in the room, or should I say the banana case. Can you explain what is happening here?
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but today is Bring Your Banana to Work Day. So I brought my banana in its case. I have several cases at home. We bought them for the kids when they were smaller, probably setting them up for a lifetime of ridicule. But I brought my banana in the case because bananas bruise, Leah. I don't know if you knew this. So I brought mine and I ate it. It's gone.
I don't understand.
But if you want to get a banana case, just let me know.
I don't understand why a banana needs a case when it naturally has a case. The banana peel.
It's not a perfect case.
And by the way, let me see this. Not every banana is shaped this way. Sometimes bananas are long and flat. Sometimes they're... All right.
I didn't think we were going there, so...
I really didn't see where I was getting to
until you... Okay, the banana case is now leaving the show. Okay.
I am adamantly against banana cases. Okay, off the rails to start the show. All right.
For the rest of you, however, I recommend that you practice safe banana. Never mind.
Good Lord.
All right.
Okay. Whoop. All right, back on the rails we go. Coyotes, they are not going to be in the playoffs this year, but there are plenty of Coyotes prospects who will get some postseason action. The NCAA tournament, no, not the basketball one, the hockey one.
The hockey one.
That kicks off this week. We also have a ton of playoffs going on over in Europe and Russia, and we're going to check in on all of those prospects, all the prospects in the NCAA tournament, all the prospects overseas currently in the playoffs, and then we're going to round things out by talking about none other than Josh Doan, because that's the excitement of the Coyotes community.
Time. I feel like we should bring back the sound effects for the third segment, so Daniel has some warning this time. Like Josh Doan is coming up, so we'll cue you up for that one.
All right.
Daniel's like, "Where is that thing?" Wait, thanks for making more work for me.
Well, let's start things off by talking about the NCAA tournament. The bracket, the Frozen Four bracket, was set yesterday, so let's take a look at the matchups. We have Boston College, number 1 Boston College, playing Michigan Tech. Wisconsin facing the defending champs Quinnipiac, and your Wisconsin, I guess I could say.
I am. Yeah. Don't like that matchup.
Number
for the
3,
Badgers.
Denver facing off against UMass. Maine facing off against Cornell. BU, which features projected number 1 overall pick Macklin Celebrini, against RIT. Is that Rhode Island?
That's Rensselaer. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
It's
I'm
okay.
so sorry.
No, that's RPI. What am I saying?
What is RIT?
Yeah.
I should know this.
I'm blanking on it too.
Rochester Institute of
that's
Technology.
Yeah,
there we go.
I was thinking RPI for
Minnesota against Omaha, Michigan State against Western Michigan, North Dakota against Michigan. So that is the bracket that we are
Boston College. Bill Armstrong's son, Jamie, plays for Boston College. So it's kind of cool. He got to go back and see him. He got to see the first game of the tournament,
that's good.
Which is cool.
That's really great. And there was also a really good nugget yesterday about Jamie Armstrong and Bill Armstrong. Warwick's Jamie Armstrong of Boston College is coming home to play in the NCAA Regional in Providence, in the building where his dad played, coach, and won a Calder Cup. So a fun nugget for the Armstrong family.
Very cool. Very cool.
But Jamie Armstrong, not a Coyotes prospect, but real adjacent. But we'll go through all the Coyotes prospects in the NCAA tournament, Craig, and let's start
with the name you like to say.
Michael Hrabal. of UMass. Had a bit of a tough go in the Hockey East tournament, not necessarily his fault. Sean DePaz was actually at that game in Boston. They got lit up. He allowed 8 goals.
By whom? Against whom? BC.
BC.
Yeah, BC's tough. BC looked really good in that tournament. So, listen, they're in the tournament, right? Michael Hrabal, you can't judge a guy by one game. He's had a pretty good season. We've written about him in the prospect report, which you can go and check out if you're a diehard only. Should mention that. But it's been a pretty good developmental season for him. I mean, we have his stats here: 266 goals against average and a .910 save percentage in 29 games. He got some really good experience. The Coyotes 2020, one of several 2022 second round picks, number 38 overall. I believe he was the second goalie taken in the draft.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. After Augustine, is that right? Trying to remember now.
I don't even remember, but I very clearly remember he was the second.
But it was a good developmental year. He needs more time. Obviously, he's a goaltender. Yeah. Goalies need more time, but they like a lot of the raw parts here. And as we mentioned recently on a show, Coyotes development staff is really excited about this crop of goaltenders that came in the past draft, talking about Melker Thelin as well as Carson Musser. So 3 guys that made what was a weakness in, I think, this prospect system, they turned it into a strength.
Absolutely. We also saw Hrabal have a great tournament in the World Juniors. So, he can step up in big moments. You mentioned that BC is a really tough opponent, and they are. I mean, they're the number 1 seed, but they'll be going up against number 3 Denver, who is also a tough opponent. Always a team that's competitive in this tournament. And he'll face his future teammate, potentially, from the Coyotes. And we're going to get some help on the pronunciation of this one.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of talk. Like, I'm hearing, I was just talking about this with Danielle off the air. You'll hear, the coach will tell them, this is how it's pronounced. And everybody just runs with it on the broadcast. I'm always about, ask the player. Just have the player say it. And the player will probably go along with it because they don't want to cause waves. But when you ask the player to pronounce it in their native tongue, it's going to sound different than what you're saying on the air. And we were saying Matikka, that's not right. Matikka is not right either. Both of those are wrong. I'm hearing broadcasts saying Matikka, that's not correct. Here, thank you, Timo Seppa, I should say, is the proper pronunciation of the name.
Miko Matikka. Miko Matikka.
The pause blows me away there, right? And he said it. He said it's almost like 2 words, Matikka.
It's
you have to have the pause there.
So we're going to try our best. It's going to take some time, I think.
That one will be a little easier than one we have coming later in the show.
That is true. Miko Matikka. Wow. A 2022 third round selection for the Coyotes, has 19 goals, 12 assists, 31 points in 39 games with Denver. So great season for him. And he's that big size that Bill Armstrong likes.
Yes, definitely that. That's one of the 2 things. If you talk to Bill about him, they're intrigued by this kid because he has a big shot too. He can shoot the puck, and he is he was using his body. I talked to David Carl, the coach at Denver, earlier this season when I did a story on Miko alone because he was coming here to play at Mullet, and he's learning how to use his body as well. He's willing to use his body to win puck battles, to ward off people who are trying to take the puck away from him, to go to the hard areas like in front of the net. So really intriguing prospect, really good for a season. You mentioned 19 goals and 31 points, so be interesting to watch him develop as well. I think he'll be back there again next season, but that's okay.
Yeah, totally okay, especially in a program like Denver.
Yes, it's a great program.
AFC will be seeing a lot of.
That's true. NCHC, that's right.
All right, moving on, we have Jonathan Castagna with Cornell. Just fits. He has the Ivy League vibe.
He did. Remember interviewing him at the draft? Yeah.
Unreal. He was also a 2022 third round pick because the Coyotes had 8,000 of them in 2023. Has 25 points in 33 games so far this season. Great season for Jonathan as well. Any notes on him?
Well, just it's funny he didn't necessarily have as much around him to help drive, but he was another guy that was driving play. When I talked to Lee Stempniak, he's a guy who's driving offense consistently. So again, you like to see this from a guy who's in his first year in the NCAA having a major impact like this. Just like Denver and just like the guy we're going to talk about next, these guys all came through Mullet Arena this season too.
So true.
It's really cool to have seen so many of these prospects live. And it just reminds me how happy I am to have Division I hockey in the Valley, which
so true.
I started covering hockey with the University of Wisconsin. That was the first team I ever covered. I love college hockey. So it's really cool to have this experience. And it's a cool experience for fans. I know a bunch of fans turned out for several of these games so they could get a firsthand look at some of these Coyotes prospects coming up.
Absolutely. Well, this next guy, also a 2023 third round pick.
Really? Another one.
Let's keep going. Tanner Ludtke for Omaha. He has 28 points in 39 games, and he also had some accolades on the all-rookie team for his conference as well. So I think definitely a kid who maybe is a little bit more unsuspecting, maybe when the opposite of Miko Matikka in terms of size, but definitely some skill there.
Yeah, and here's another situation. Really, this is an extreme situation where there wasn't a lot around him. So it's hard to get a read. We were just talking about this with, we had Aaron Porcelain on today, and, you know, he was talking about Johnny Gaudreau's struggles.
That'll come tomorrow.
Sometimes you see these great passes and they just die on the stick of whoever they're going to because you don't have guys who can finish. Tanner Ludtke is another guy that they talked about really, really driving offense. They liked a lot of his game, but he just didn't have a lot around him to make things happen.
So it'll be interesting to see how that develops, but great to see him have a good season. Be curious how he does in the tournament with Omaha. Moving on to Minnesota, Logan Cooley's former squad.
Petey? Where's Petey?
I know. I feel like he should just appear.
Yeah, just pop in for this.
Yes, but you know, Minnesota, they had some big names leave for them. Matty Nyes, Logan Cooley, Brock Faber, unbelievable. Cal Thomas, though, Coyotes prospect, 2021 6th round pick, 10 points in 26 games. Cal Thomas.
Yeah, true defensive defenseman, right? Not putting up major points, not expected to put up major points. So it's a tough road. Like when you don't produce points at this level, it's a really tough road to get into the NHL, and he's a 6th round pick, so we know what the odds say. But if you talk to Bob Motzko, the coach at the University of Minnesota, Cal Thomas is a critical piece for them right now, especially as you mentioned with all the losses. So more of a long-term project, right? You wait and see. He's probably a guy who spends a lot of time trying to develop and maybe gets his crack at the NHL someday, but definitely not there yet.
One last guy on Wisconsin, Craig's squad, Carson Bantle, a 2020 5th round pick, 19 points in 38 games, 14 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens with Carson Bantle because he showed some development. He can score goals. He's got 14 goals this season, and Wisconsin's a good team. It's nice to see them resurgent after a long struggle for the Badgers. That was tough to watch because this is a very proud and storied program. But Bantle's got a lot of development ahead of him. I believe his rights expire this summer, if I'm remembering that correctly. So I'm curious what they're going to do with this one. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be a piece of their future or not. Yeah.
Roaring Fork said, is Ludtke the kid who had grandparents and surprise that would take him to Coyotes games? Yes, he is. That's a great story. And then this question from Cody Craig: what kind of interaction can the Coyotes have with these players during their NCAA season?
You can't get on the ice with them. The NCAA does not permit that, but there's a lot of conversation. I would say more with the coaches than with the players, but their development staff does talk to the players. What they really try to do is stay out of the way. You don't want to interfere with what a coach is trying to accomplish for his own team. That's first and foremost for any one of these players, wherever they're playing. The directive has to come from their coach. There are some situations, like we've talked about Artem Duda, where they can actually get on the ice because it's Canada. They don't have the same restrictions as the NCAA does. But there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of video sharing and information. Sheets. They'll give them talking points, things that they're noticing in their games, things that they can work on. But again, they try to stay out of the way of the coaches. So they're not saying play this system or, do this specific thing within the game, because that's up to the coaches in those respective places.
There you go, Cody. As always, though, Craig writes about numerous Coyotes prospects once a month, and that is for diehards only. One of the great perks of becoming a diehard, he's not just writing about them, he's talking to all sorts of people who know a lot more than we do about the Coyotes prospects.
That's the key right there.
Yeah, so I highly recommend that you check it out, gophnx.com, but you do have to be a diehard. One of the many perks to being a diehard, access to the diehard only content. Also, you get access to our Discord. You get a free shirt or hat when you sign up, 20% off merchandise, 20% off events like our takeover yesterday, which was an absolute blast. It was so great seeing all of our diehards come out. So just so many great reasons to become a diehard, Craig. Absolutely.
I was just going to say, lots of people like to think that they're draft prospect analysts, but there are very few who are actually qualified to discuss draft prospect analysts.
True. Well, you don't have to be an analyst of any sort to participate in Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It's been super fun, especially with the NCAA tournament going on for men's and women's basketball. MLB starts this week. We got NHL, NBA, all going on right now. Prize Picks is so fun. You just pick more than or less than on a number of player props, and voila, you can win yourself some money. It's so easy to do. And right now, Prize Picks wants to help you win, and they're going to give you a deposit match. So free money over at Prize Picks. And
free money is good.
And I've talked about how I love the interface of Prize Picks. It's just, it's so easy. You can combine sports in your picks. It's so fun. Go to prizepicks.com/PHNX and use code PHNX for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/PHNX and use code PHNX. Pick more, pick less. It's just that easy. And all you have to do is string at least 2 of those together. So you don't have to do one of these 10 leggers. You can just put 2 together and win yourself some money over at Prize Picks. And once you win that money, you can deposit your winnings into your Desert Financial Credit Union.
If you want to put them in my gold vault, you can.
That is true. If you are one of the other perks of being a diehard,
I'll allow it.
Craig will allow you to bank in his gold vault. Because if you didn't know, Craig banks over at Desert Financial Credit Union. DFCU has been around for more than 84 years. Craig has.
Almost as long as me.
I was not going to go there today.
I went there before you
already gave you enough shit about your banana case. Desert Financial Credit Union helps out with checkings and savings account, mortgages, loans, credit card, investment options, and more. And right now, when you open a free checking account online, you get $200 in bonuses. Who doesn't want a bonus $200?
All this free money. Man.
We're just giving you money. So get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. All right, it's time to talk about the European leagues. I'm sweating at some of the names already, so please forgive me in advance, but we have some more help. And we'll start off over in Russia, Craig, where 2 of the Coyotes' top prospects are currently participating in the KHL playoffs. And we'll start with Coyotes' 6th overall pick in last year's draft, Dmitri Simashev of Yaroslavl, the Lokomotiv.
Yaroslavl, yeah, where Dave King coached once.
Yes.
And where Ilya Fedotov played.
So 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points in 63 games. Again, he's a defenseman, but he's getting reps in the KHL, which is a men's league. And as we've said multiple times, potentially the second best league in the world.
A lot of people believe that. And Lokomotiv's in the quarterfinals now. They have a 3-1 series lead, so they could move on. This is a really good team. And listen, you can look at numbers, and obviously anybody would like to see numbers from both of these players. We're going to talk about Daniil Boud as well. But they're getting a chance to play significant roles on this team at this age. That's a really good sign. And we know that they're under contract for another season. I just want to drop this possibility so people don't freak out if it actually comes to pass. There's the chance that they could spend an additional year in Russia. The Coyotes are aware of that. It might be a requirement. They're okay with it. When you think of examples like Kirill Kaprizov coming over after several years in Russia, he just came over ready. He came over ready to excel. If they need to spend another year in Russia, fully baked in the second best league in the world, probably having their roles increase each of those seasons. Yeah. That's not a bad thing.
Absolutely. And Daniil Boud also on that squad, the Coyotes' 12th overall pick in the 2023 draft. He has 21 points in 55 games, 10 goals, 11 assists. So same thing applies.
Last report, he was now 8'5". So
He grows every time.
He does.
By the time he comes here, he'll be 11 feet tall.
Bill Armstrong is so excited about this kid. He's so excited about this kid because he's massive and he can move, and he's just one of those, you hear coaches describe players as hard. He's a hard player. Dave Tibbett loved to say that. We need hard players. This is a hard player. He uses his body already. He's probably going to bulk out even more. This is going to be a fascinating prospect to watch when he finally arrives.
Yeah, I can't wait for these two to get over here personally. I know it's going to be a few years down the road, but man, the future is bright. All right, we will move on to our next guy. I'll say his name. Will I say his team name? I don't know. I might have Craig do it. And that is Noel Nordh. Did I say that right?
You did, yeah.
2023 third round pick. Wow, they're all in the playoffs right now. All the third round picks in 2023. What's his team, Craig?
Brynäs is how I think it's pronounced, but probably not how it's pronounced, because wait till you hear our Swedish translator.
Yes, a little
later in the show.
15 points in 50 games, 6 goals, 9 assists for Noel.
You like the H, the silent H?
Nordh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Nordh. Maybe they do something like that. I have no idea. Let's talk a goalie, Melker Thelin.
Oh, wait, but you didn't mention that Nordh played 2 J20 games and was back up with.
Thank you for going down to the notes that I put on the thing and forgot to mention.
Courtesy of Lee Stepniak, who once again knows more about this than we do.
Yeah.
So thank you, Lee, for providing us with
tons
some
of
notes. Yep.
Okay,
well, now we'll talk about Melker Thelin. There is a Lee Stepniak note on him. Of course, he is one of the goaltenders, and I will absolutely not pronounce
Björklöven.
Okay,
Björklöven.
Okay, I like that. 2023 5th round pick. He has a 2.5 goals against average and 915 save percentage.
Yeah, from Lee. He's in a round robin tournament for promotion and relegation. His team's trying to be promoted to J20 National. So again, meaningful games. We keep talking about that, meaningful games. It just when you learn a lot about your players when they're under pressure, when there's massive consequences to everything that they do in a game. This is why scouts love watching postseason, and the Coyotes are definitely scouting all of these guys.
Next guy who we kind of got to see also during the World Juniors, Samu Bao, Tampereen Ilves. That's an easier one to say. In the Liiga, a 2023 6th round pick, Samu Bao.
Yeah.
And he,
do you want to read that note?
Yeah, sure. He's with Ilves, but was pushed out of the lineup a bit when they signed a guy from the AHL.
Yes, that was Lee's note to me. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
But pushed out of the lineup. But he's with Ilves, and he's in the Liiga.
That's another men's league.
Exactly. Yeah. These are good leagues. These are good situations for these players. You hope he gets some playoff experience at some point, but right now, no.
Next guy, Ilya Fedotov with St. Petersburg. Do you say SKA or do you say SKA?
You pronounce the letters.
Okay. St. Petersburg SKA of the KHL. He was the Coyotes 2021 second round pick, 43rd overall. We often mention him when we mention the Coyotes not drafting Matthew Nyes.
I thought you were going there.
Yeah, he has 9 points in 26 games, played 10 games in VHL.
Yeah, Fedotov played in the VHL playoffs, but his team was eliminated. So he's back with the KHL team again, but not playing at the moment.
That's a bummer. We're on a little streak of bummer.
Okay, it's about to get more interesting.
Okay. Well, we'll get to our next guy, another goaltender, Rasmus Korhonen.
You almost forget about him. He's playing with Jukurit, also in the Liiga.
It's because he wasn't one of the 2023 goalies that the Coyotes selected. He was a 2021 4th round pick, 122nd overall. He's also in Liiga, which is great to see. 904 save percentage, 2.25 goals against average for Korhonen.
Yeah. We have a note on him too, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah. They're down 3-0 in their postseason series. They play tomorrow. I think he got in game 3. Yeah, that's what Lee said, when the team was actually down already 3-0, but we're not sure yet if he's going to start tomorrow. But hopefully he gets a little more playoff experience. He got a taste of it. But again, these are young guys that'll, as they age, they'll get more and more opportunity.
I'll let you read the next one, Craig.
We're talking about Philip Barklund?
Yeah, but what team does he play for?
I don't know. I can't pronounce that.
Brodernas / Vasby?
I have no idea. And
okay.
It's in Hockey Etten, so he's a 6th round pick. Listen, these two guys are older. These are holdovers from the Chaika era, and I'm not sure what their future is. I think both of their rights. The next two guys we're going to pronounce. they expire this summer. So, yeah, I think Lee mentioned that both these guys, I'm not even going to say the other name yet
We'll
because
get there
I
in
need
a
to tee
minute.
you up. But they are also playing in a round-robin tournament after 3 series just to get there. So getting some experience. But again, I'm not sure what the future is for either one of these guys. But we are going to talk about one more player, Leah. So I'm going to leave the pronunciation of this particular Swedish name
All
to
right,
you.
I got this one.
You
Ready?
got this?
Yep,
Okay.
here we go.
Elliot Ekefjärd.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Can we?
There's such
Let me just say it.
baritone
Let me
to your
just say
voice.
it one more-
I
let me
wasn't
say it
prepared
one
for
more
that.
time.
Okay.
Elliot Ekefjärd.
Just I don't know where all this depth in your voice is coming from.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we have to. Some of you who have been around for a long time and were around for the Natty Hattie remember Sebastian Noren. I had to reach out to Seb this morning because I had no clue how to pronounce this name, and he sent me a voice
Danielle,
text.
can we put the name in the chat so people can see what it looks like? Like, it's actually insane. Actually, I can do it. It's probably
Okay.
easier for me to do it. Yeah, just absolutely insane. But he's a 2020 7th round pick, 192nd overall. That's getting
While
up
you're
there.
while you're putting his name in the chat, let's hear the pronunciation of Elliot's name one more time.
Elliot Ekefjärd.
Sure. I can't say that.
Okay, and now look at how it's spelled. Ekefja with an accent over it. RD. Yeah,
No.
that's exactly how I thought it was pronounced.
Thank you, Seb. Thank you for coming
Nicholas
through when
said
I
the
really need.
Duolingo bird's gonna be impressed by that. I should start taking Swedish on Duolingo.
Seriously, that's brutal. Like I can't
Oh.
imagine. It is so important, though. I know I ranted on this in I think it was in a newsletter about the importance of having the proper pronunciation. I can listen to that 10 times. I still won't get it, but I'm at least going to try. And Danielle had thoughts on this as well when it comes to the pronunciation of Spanish names, like Hernandez.
Anytime somebody says Hernandez, my dad rolls his eyes a little bit. Anytime the D-backs are playing, he's like, "Oh, and in comes Hernandez." He would yell at it. It's Hernandez every time.
Say that again.
David
Roll that
Peralta.
R. Let's hear it.
David Peralta. It's Peralta.
Look at that.
Wow.
Or Eduardo Escobar was another one. Escobar, not Escobar.
Wow.
So we're
Yeah.
a big pronunciation
I
family.
like the rolling
so
R's.
I like that too.
He appreciates your crusade to pronounce.
Okay. Well, we will continue. I'm sorry. My giggling is mostly at my own embarrassment that I can't do it, so I don't mean to offend. But I think overall, Craig, the takeaway here is we just talked about 15 prospects.
Mhm.
Some of them will definitely be part of the Coyotes' future. A good handful we might never see in a Kachina, but that's okay because all these guys are currently getting playoff experience, which is crucial
Yeah.
to their development. And hopefully it'll, come to play well when they eventually arrive here.
Yeah,
This
maybe
is
we'll have to do another show when we get to juniors and the AHL playoffs because there are a bunch of guys in juniors that are going to be in the postseason and obviously a bunch of guys in Tucson that are
Yes.
definitely going to be in the postseason. One guy who will not, I'm going to mention this right now.
Yes.
We've been waiting for this. I wrote about Tucson and the players that might end up on that roster when they bolster it, including Connor Geekie. And at the time I wrote that Maverick Lamoureux is not going to be there. They're waiting for this diagnosis. And of course, you probably saw the tweet from Jerome Berube today that he is out for the season, will not be able to participate in the playoffs for Drummondville. That's a huge loss for them. It's a shame for him that he won't get to compete,
know.
but it'll be about healing up and then rolling into training because he is one of those players that I really think will be in Tucson next season.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting surgery to repair an upper body injury.
Yep.
So we'll, wish the best for Mavlam and hope that he's good to go by training camp, which I'm sure he will be. But yes, we will definitely do. This was the current playoff situation for the players currently in it, but we will definitely do this for the players in the CHL and the AHL when that happens. And hopefully we'll have a nice little AHL run to follow.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But we will be down in Tucson
gonna say.
on April 20th. It's the last regular season game for the Tucson Roadrunner season, and everybody pencil it in on your calendars. We're working on it right now, but we are going to plan a meetup at Illegal Pete's in Tucson before that game on April 20th, because Illegal Pete's, they have a location on Mill Ave. They have a location on University in Tucson, 2 locations in Arizona. And if you have not yet been to Illegal Pete's, you are completely missing out. Their queso is unmatched. Their margaritas, yeah, exactly.
Queso.
Their margaritas are phenomenal. They have amazing bowls, burritos, everything you can possibly ask for. I love Illegal Pete's, and I cannot wait to eat it when we're down in Tucson. So
I like that location too. It's a cool location in Tucson.
2 stories. There's a patio downstairs and upstairs. Really cool. There's actually a front patio and a back patio on the upstairs. I spent a lot of time at that Illegal Pete's when I was at UMass.
I can't imagine that, Leah. It surprises me.
Yeah,
you'd be home studying.
I highly recommend the prickly pear margarita. That is what I will say. Illegal Pete's is here to bring you a win with their legendary sound check deal. Bring in your ticket stub from any ticketed event and get a draft beer or house margarita for a penny. Illegal Pete's wants to celebrate with you, whether it's a pregame or a postgame party, and they got you covered on all your game day needs. You must purchase an adult entree to redeem Illegal Pete's sound check deal. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. And on your way to Tucson, you can stop at not Pikachu Peak, Picacho Peak, one of the places that you can check in on the Arizona Lottery's Arizona Adventure. So many ways to win. We did it when we were at Hole in the Rock. We all checked in. It was super easy. And once you're registered, it's even easier. You can go to Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, Camelback Mountain. So definitely stop by. These tickets have prizes up to $50,000. Or you can just, check out the beautiful Arizona Adventure Lottery Scratchers. I think pretty much everyone who won the Scratchers that day that we gave them away won money on them.
Nice.
So good stuff there. And make sure you buy your Arizona Lottery Scratchers wherever you buy your Scratchers, at the grocery store, at Walmart, at Circle K. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It's also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. All right.
Do we have an incoming Josh Doan alert?
We do. Don't alert. We're talking about Josh Doan.
That's great.
Get on the train, everyone, because the Josh Doan hype train is leaving the station right now. Here we go. Josh Doan, as Craig mentioned on the show last night, has been recalled from the Tucson Roadrunners to the Arizona Coyotes. Made official this morning. He will make his NHL debut Tuesday night against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And, of course, Josh will wear number 91, following in the footsteps of Taylor Hall, Kyle Turris. Maybe I shouldn't mention it. But I think that will reset number 91. And also, I just love that it's the inverse of his dad's 19. Super special Josh Doan, first Arizona born, raised, and trained player to play for the Coyotes, first player to play for ASU, Tucson, and the Coyotes.
Yep. Just
all around an unbelievable
scored the first goal in Sun Devil history at the Mullet Arena.
Yeah, so unbelievable. Yeah. This just feels like a full circle moment that we've been waiting for since we found out he was drafted to the Coyotes.
Yeah, I am. First of all, remember this game was supposed to be a nationally televised game, and then they pulled it. So sorry, tomorrow, ESPN. Like if you don't know about Josh Doan coming up tomorrow, and you're watching this game, you'll be like, why is it so insane in there for the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Arizona Coyotes? Well, now you know. Hockey royalty is stepping onto the ice at Mullet Arena. At least Valley Hockey royalty is stepping onto the ice at Mullet Arena tomorrow. We are going to chronicle the hell out of this moment because it's such a cool moment. There's no name more important to Arizona hockey than the Doan name. So roll with it, Leah. I don't know where you want to go with this, but we can talk about our plans at some point here soon.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just to see the name Doan on the ice in a Kachina again is just going to be so special for so many Coyotes fans. And I think in a season, there's 11 games left. The Coyotes are not making the playoffs. They're not mathematically eliminated yet. PD and I keep saying that on the postgame show. But we're waiting on the auction to get posted. It just feels like there's not a lot to be excited about.
It's a welcome distraction, isn't it? It
feels like there were people tweeting last night in our Discord, like this moment actually like brought some Coyotes fans to tears. And I just think it's really special, the impact that a name can have on a community. And I think what's so special about it is that, we all know how great of a person Shane Doan is.
Yeah.
Josh Doan is the same vibe, the same.
He's the perfect blend of his parents, if you know them.
Yeah, he's just a great kid.
Yeah.
And not just credit to Shane, to his mom as well,
Andrea,
of course. But he's just a great kid, and I think that he represents Arizona hockey so beautifully. Like the fact that he was born here, raised here, learned how to play hockey here, and yes, it's because his dad was playing here, but he grew up in the same system that Austin Matthews did, that Matty Nyes did, and look at all of them now. That's 3 Arizona-born. Sorry, Austin Matthews is born in California. 3 Arizona-raised players in the National Hockey League, and Josh Doan, he'll get his name on the wall at Mullet Arena of Sun Devils to play in the National Hockey League. That's going to be really special, for the entire Sun Devils crew who got to watch him have 2 great seasons at Arizona State. It's just really special. So yeah, we're going to be there tomorrow
in force for a second straight night.
Second straight night.
Some of the things that we're going to do, I'm going to have most of a story written before this game, but I definitely want to wait until after the game to add some color from the actual moment. But as I tweeted already, Shane's going to be there. Family's going to be there. Greg Powers is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to gather other content. Danielle is going to be there shooting again, and I believe we have a convert in Danielle who shot her first hockey game yesterday and now can't get enough.
I went home and so those of you who don't know, Petey is hooking me up with a lot of hockey gear, and he got me a stick.
Yeah,
and I went in my garage and shot until probably around midnight last night.
That's awesome.
I shot a tennis ball into my garage for like an hour.
I love that. So yeah, we'll have photos of the rookie lap of Josh Doan's first moments on the ice. We're going to be taking over the PHNX Sports Instagram stories, so make sure you're following along there. And of course, on our Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. It's going to be Josh Doan Central, because I think before tonight I was like, oh my God, Arizona and Columbus. I mean, ESPN gave up the game because they couldn't even fathom it.
Oops.
But now it's not about that. It is about Josh Doan making his debut in front of friends and family and his awesome college coach. And it's just a great story. So, if you can't be there, we hope you watch. We hope you watch our post-game show. And I want to let everybody know, we still have a limited number of Josh Doan shirts available on our website right now, phnxlocker.com. There's limited sizes, but make sure you check it out. This shirt is super discounted right now. So you won't get it in time for tomorrow night, but it's a great shirt. First of all, love this shirt. I'll be wearing mine on the post-game show tomorrow night. phnxlocker.com. Get yours now. Like I said, limited availability, but check it out at phnxlocker.com. So grab yours.
Yeah.
Get on the train. Oh, man.
Really looking forward to this night.
Yeah.
I mean, even the day, right? They're going to have a morning skate. I'm sure he's going to be there and talk a little bit there, but this is such a special moment. I can't wait to cover this. So these moments don't come along very often, and the way the Coyotes have been going, like I said, it's a really welcome distraction from all the other stuff that's happening with the team right now.
Yeah.
Go to the game. If you get a chance to go to this game, go to the game or watch this game. Just be a part of it somehow. Join our chat after the game. We'll obviously have a post-game show as well. We'll have a lively discussion, I'm sure, afterward. We'll have video clips. We'll have photos. We'll have all sorts of thoughts. Petey and I will talk too much, as we always do. So be with us tomorrow night. It's going to be a really cool night.
Yeah, it's going to be Doan night for sure. All the way through. I cannot wait. It's going to be so fun and really special. And I think we all needed this. So really excited for Josh. Can't wait for that. Craig, you have any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I think I'm good. I'm just, like I said, I'm just looking forward to this. I told Danielle when I came in here, I felt energized today.
Yeah.
Like it's been a while. It's just been a slog for a while trying to get through these games. We literally had a thumbnail that was like whatever the number was,
Counting
14
down.
to go or 13 to go until we get through this.
Yeah.
This is cool. You need these sorts of moments in a season. And even last night, like going in and interviewing Cam Crotty after and seeing how excited he was. He's trying to downplay it a little bit because they just lost a game. So you don't want to, but he couldn't contain his excitement. And then the fact that he's like shaking hands with the reporters. I read your tweet on the show. Like, oh my gosh, those are the moments that I just love in sports. It sort of rejuvenates you.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you want to get ready for the Columbus side of the matchup, PD and Craig had a chance to catch up with the Athletics Aaron Portzline this morning. That audio only episode will be dropping early tomorrow morning for all of you commuters out there. 6 a.m. drop, so take a look. But some really significant stuff on there.
Yeah, speaking of like really good news, and I don't want to give it away until Porty announces it himself, but just like a guy that I work with at the Athletic, I told the story of that was our first post-game show, by the way.
I remember.
In Columbus, where after they got blown out, they gave up 8 goals. The cannon was going off. I was half deaf, and I was doing the show from the top of a garbage can and thought I was really creative to get it to the right height. And this is just a tease for the show because we talk about it in the show. Porty's next to me through glass in the press box writing. He looks over, sees me, leans around the glass and says, "You think you're smart, don't you? Turn the garbage can upside down next time so your laptop doesn't fall in the nasty trash." I was like, so you've done this before.
Oh, man. Yeah, great interview. Check it out. Like Craig mentioned, some great news for him on the start of that show, and then a great preview of Columbus, because I think this might make Coyotes fans feel better. Like, if there's a franchise with some curses.
Yeah, you want to commiserate?
Yeah, it might be the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Listen to Porty talk about the Jackets.
So there you go. But make sure you check that out. Audio only, wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're there, make sure you leave us a 5-star review and leave us a little written message. I read all of our reviews, so I appreciate any kind words you can leave over there as well. And make sure you subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel so you don't miss all of our live shows and you don't miss all of our extra content that we will likely have tomorrow as well. So check that out. You can follow us on Twitter at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at S. Peters Hockey, at Abrica Danielle. Follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody, and we will see everybody after tomorrow night's game. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.